I think we are live. You hear me? I can hear me. You always got to do one of those. It's freaking pouring where you are. It's off to our west. It's probably going to happen during the show. If I suddenly go out, we may have lost power. Anyway, what's up, Thunder Falcon, Kevin, Ben, Rev, Tactical, Ferd, Mick, Graphite, Peter, Dunbar, what's up, buddy? Got Cushman, got Joe, Hit Metal Works, Guitar 1952, Justin Sherman, Deanna, Mr. Mick, Zach, Vamps, got James, Gary Davlin, what's up, buddy? Ben Coons. And of course, Johnny, Billy, Jay Sharf, and Frank, Nelson, Matt, Speaker, what's up, buddy? Cooper, and Kevin, and Vanilla Slice, and Ferd, and Larry, P-Drop, B-Man, Coots, Chris, Vincent, you're in Central Mass. It is. It's headed my way. My wife hit some because she was in the city, and it hit a little bit. We're a little southwest of the city, so it just missed us. You could hear it, but we didn't get a drop. That's how localized it is, right? Just distant thunder. But we didn't get any. We didn't get any rain. It's gonna freaking pour though. Looks like it's setting up shop like big time. That's actually in parallel mode. That's the series. So for like AC/DC, parallel might sound a little better. And scene. All right, where's my coffee? That's your 3-minute intro. God, I've been watching friggin' Mystery Science Theater. Been on a little MST 3000 Jag. I caught the final season of Barry too. If anyone else watched that, you know, with the travails of Barry and NoHo. NoHo Hank, that character's the friggin' best. Will I run my guitar into? I am going into a Scarlett Focusrite Scarlett 18i20. I'm in channel 1. There it is. No, Barry, the show on HBO, you know, with Henry Winkler and Bill Hader, about the assassin who winds up somehow making his way into acting class, and not only really liking it, but actually doing like pretty damn well. But he's got all kinds of dark stuff and a lot of murder. It's a very violent. It's a violent comedy. It's a dark comedy. Exactly the Fonz and Bill Hader. I tell you, Henry Winkler was so friggin' good in it, you know, as the you know, the acting instructor who like did nothing, right? Landon Bailey says Barry was awesome. Yeah, well, it's like you don't expect Sally to be like the, you know, of all the shitty characters, she really was the shittiest. You know? Surprise! You think you're pretty bad, Barry, but you might have met somebody that's even worse than you. What's up, Star Guitar Works? Curious who you recommend for setting up new guitars. So you're like buying something cheap and upgrading it, but hoping someone you knew. You know, I don't really. There's really two people in Boston. A lot of the places that I've known, they've all closed. The guys have retired. They're older. But the two that I think are still going are MISC. Go to see Wolf, but you know, Wolf has been doing this like literally 40 years now. And, you know, after a good 30, how much attention to detail do you put in? You know, he was never sort of that guy. You know, he feels to be like a little rushed. And so I don't know. You know, sometimes I worry about Wolf, you know. And then the other one is Mark Herbert. Who would do a great job, be very expensive though, and he doesn't like working on cheap guitars. You know, he like wants to work on expensive or even better yet, vintage guitars. You know, you go to him for a setup, it's going to cost you $200 friggin'. You know, where Wolf will be half that. Man, I am exhausted. Yeah, I'm playing on a special custom graphic by Kramer, part of the custom graphic series. This is the Illusionist. I would just say, oh no, I gotta move my coffee. Get the angle right. There we go. There you go. We gotta get it just right. Subscribe to my channel. Would it kill you to become a member? I mean, seriously, bro. Don't get cheap on me. So this guitar is actually a little different, I think, than I think all the other ones in the custom graphics collection. This one It's not a zebra. It's more like a unicorn. Wait, hold on. Thank you. And it's the only one that's built on the 84. All the other custom graphics collections seem to be built on the Beretta, or as we like to say, Beretta. Whereas, I gotta move this other freaking thing out of my way. Now you're talking. Get a little closer there. So, the difference is the Beretta, this would be a zebra pickup. I think the same pickup, I don't think they change it. Okay, so zebra. And a pickup ring. And slanted. The little tilt. The famous Beretta tilt. And it also has a push-pull, like this does. Yeah, the old pushy and the pull. The old push-pull. But this, when you pull it out, it goes to parallel, which is still humbucking, or series, which is how a normal humbucker is wired. The Beretta, or as we like to say, Beretta, that one, when you pull this out, instead of going from a series to a parallel, it goes from a double coil to a single coil. So there are your differences between the two. They're both alder body. They're both your maple neck. I do think this headstock is a little different. I want to say that the other one is just ever so slightly different, a tiny bit smaller and more tilty back than offset, like this. Right? That's offset. Ain't no tilt back. Right? It does have a little bit of... It's not flamed. It's not a... But as you can see, it's got a little something in there. A little something. And it's all one piece because it doesn't have a separate fretboard. The truss rod went in the back. I wonder if I can get it on... Yeah, not really. Yeah, see, it's not going to work. Yeah. Some would say they used to call that, believe it, the banana headstock, and they would call it the hockey stick headstock, definitely. But I sort of remember it more as the banana headstock. Little something for the ladies. It's a great sounding and playing guitar, let me tell you. The only thing I had to do was give the truss rod a wee Jimmy. But it's that time of year. And I refrigerate my house in the summer. And when it showed up, it was a hot box here. Wicked hot box. They do not refrigerate those vans. So, had to cool it down. Cool it down. Cool it down. Exactly, just a wee Jimmy. Don't you kind of have to do that? like this. No, it's an A. Do it in parallel. That sounds out. I'm just saying, if there was ever a guitar to play Pink Floyd on, it's kind of it. Go grab yourself a tab. I mean, a can of tab. Yeah, Tom Petty's don't come around here, right? Exactly, it's like an IMAX theater in your lap. Do I have my phaser here? I'm just saying, I could see, Gilmore playing one of these. Just saying. He'd rock one of these. What is it? Does that work like that? No. Oh. They call that metal. Gotta get that just right. Gilmore would never. I don't know. Gilmore was playing a. He was playing a Steinberger back in the day. He went modern. Yeah, Hendrix, exactly. What's the neck profile on it? It's a Shred C. It's pretty small, actually. It's like a Charvel or a any of the small. It's not small and flat like the Ibanez. It's small and round like the Charvel or the Schecter. If you've ever played like a Schecter Sun Valley Super Shredder, it actually might even be a hair smaller than this. Just a hair, though. This is a good size neck. I really like this neck. It's good. Getting heavy rain in New Jersey. Or it should be creeping up on us, they say. There's still light out. So how bad can it be? Oh, yeah, no, it's yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's coming in hot. Coming in hot, the hot shot. Yeah, these have you know what? Let me find the listing. Listing, where are you? That's it. That's it. Been watching too much MST 3000. Well, the tribute to psychedelia. Joel here is seen wearing the traditional garb of the. See, it's a K-speed neck. It's an easy playing K-speed slim taper C profile. Is that enough adjectives for you? It's a lightning fast 12-inch radius fingerboard on a 25.5-inch scale with 22 medium jumbo frets. Yes, ooh, JB Humbucker. Single knurled volume knob, and you know what? The volume knob isn't like slogging. It's a nice low friction, which I friggin' love. An homage to one of the most influential electric guitars of all time, with the head turning the Illusionist graphic. Lightweight alder body. This weighs 8.06 pounds, so you decide whether 8 pounds is heavy or light. It felt a little heavy to me. I have another guitar here that feels a lot lighter. I put that on the scale. It was 6.5 pounds. Suspicions confirmed. Lightweight alder body, rock hard maple neck, with the easy playing K-speed slim taper C profile, lightning fast 12-inch radius fingerboard. Zebra colored. It's not zebra colored though. Why would you say that's zebra colored? It's not zebra colored. It had 2 black bobbins. Can we get someone from Copy on the phone? Single knurled knob, push pull for series, parallel tap, Floyd Rose 1000, double locking. It doesn't have the trem stop. Note there's no trem stop. That's for when it had the it did for a while come with the D-Tuna. In fact, you still might be able to get the D-Tuna version in some retailers. But it no longer comes with the D-Tuna. The new stock at Sweetwater is not with the D-Tuna. See? No D-Tuna. But I'll bet if you looked around, you would find one with the D-Tuna. The tunas are in-house brand. They just say they're Kramer. They're just sealed minis. You know, they don't go nuts with tuners when you have a locking nut. You know, and, you know, they're kind of right. As long as they, you know, they work and they're not going to wear out and they turn freely and they're not, you know, but I don't need, like, crazy locking, like, tuners on a guitar with a locking nut. Yeah, Zounds. So someone's saying, Les Paul's saying that Zounds has the D-Tuna. It's hard when you're from Boston. You will find that out there. There's one retailer. I want to even say if you went directly to like the Kramer website, they might still have some D-Tuna stock in there. At least that's how the last time I saw it, they were speccing it. Subject to availability and always subject to change. Am I planning on to put a 78 pickup? No. I like a Duncan JB. I don't know if Eddie invented the D-Tuna, but he certainly was the company that bought the patent and was marketing it. But I don't know. You know, like Leo Fender didn't design the Stratocaster body. I think he hired a designer to do that, right? His was the one with the slab body. Yeah, just throw it on the bandsaw like this. Adam Reaver did from FU Tone. Usually that's what you find out. You find out that he doesn't invent it. He just like loves it and says, well, I just want to buy this tech, license it, and you know, you won't get any more money than like from me. You won't do better than having my name associated with it in the marketing. So rather than just trying to go out on your own, why don't you market it under the EVH brand? And you know, there you go. Well, I have it in parallel mode now. So Eddie comes up with the idea, but then someone actually has to make something that a proof of concept, right? A working device that proves the concept of what Eddie's saying. But then the idea, then the real question is like, well, who comes up with the actual concept of the device? It's right. So there's many levels of concept. One level is I move something and I go from an E to a D, and nothing else changes. Figure that out. That's a very high level. Low level is like I take a sphere of metal and I plane it down a certain level, and when I move it and I have an adjustment and I put a screw on the side, that now I have a problem. It's not the same every time, so I put an adjustment screw so I can move it to a certain level, and you're solving all these problems. That's all the low-level work to actually make it work, right? High-level concept versus the low-level work that it takes to actually do it, the nitty-gritty, the details. Adam invented it and sold half the company to EVH. Yeah, there you go. It feels like something that may have been pitched to EVH. You know what I'm saying? And EVH is like, yeah, no, I like it. just like I like the Floyd Rose. I'm liking what I see here, you know. So what's my thoughts overall on the guitar? I really love it. And you know, I'm usually not one to really like just one pickup guitars. I usually like two or more pickups. But because it has the push-pull, it adds another dimension. It probably can do a flutter, but you got to tighten it down for that to happen. Is it loose enough for a flutter? A little bit. Look at me, I'm Brad Gillis. You better to do it backwards, because if you do it forwards, you'll clank it, right? So you only have a limited run, all right? So I gotta tighten that. Exactly. It's only the illusion of a second pickup. Merely a mirage. They named a guitar after it. I was sad to see the passing of what's her name this week? Can't even think of her name. You know that chick? Yeah, nothing compares, right? Sinead O'Connor. Thinking Edie Brickell. She's not dead, just her career is. You know, and Randy Meisner. Right? Right. And then D minor. F. F is the home bass. Again, the D minor. A. And then I want to say E flat. It's actually an interesting cycle that it goes through. I was getting mixed up with Amy Mann. Yeah, I was thinking of Edie Brickell for some reason. Just, listen, can we just all agree? Let's just make a pact right now. Let's just not bring up Paula Cole, okay? Please. It's not that kind of show. Damn it. Yeah, it's a fresh spot. That's we've been staying on the Kirkland Starbucks because it is pretty much the same as the Starbucks. They don't call it Starbucks, they just call it Kirkland, but it's almost indistinguishable, so, and it's like half the money. So we will take it. Still fills out. Who has influenced me to play guitar? All the usual heroes, like Roy Clark, Helen Reddy. Day after dawn, what's that cloud you've got home? It's actually a pretty sad song. Did you see a faded rose from days gone by? And did I hear you say he was me here today? I take you. Yeah, so the country version is real big down south, but up here in Boston, we get the adult contemporary version, which was sung by Helen Reddy. I want to say Tanya Tucker does the country version of Delta Dawn. All right. But we didn't get the Tanya Tucker version up here. It was a little too much drawl. I had we had the Helen Reddy version. Was Helen Reddy from Australia, really? So someone mentioned, talking about the paranormal hearing, and they found some wreckage with non-human biologics. Yeah. You know what a non-human biologic is? Literally every other living thing on the planet other than human. And I'm going to give you the understatement of the year. That's a lot. Oh, non-human. So it hit a bird? You know, the reality is that things are a lot farther apart than we can possibly comprehend. It's hard for our little shit brains to understand the distances that we're talking about here. Now, I wouldn't doubt that there's life on other planets, because if the fact that there's life here on this planet shows it can happen, right? Proof of concept. The concept, can life happen on a planet? You know what? It can. We're living proof. And in a very real sense, humans are the universe sort of thing, acknowledging its own existence, right? It's produced something that is self-aware. It's very likely. Getting here is another. That's a whole problem. Science fiction is great in filling in the gaps, but if you've ever seen, there's a great video where the guy shows he shows like a ship, he shows the Enterprise heading out at warp speed, which is the speed of light, and this thing in the solar system, this thing is barely moving. Then he runs it at warp 10, right, which is the fastest, and this thing is it takes like 20 minutes to get to Saturn. It's like, that's at warp 10. With the current technology we have right now, to get to the closest star we have, Alpha Centauri, which is 1 light year away, it would take approximately 1,500 years with our fastest rocket. 1,500 years. Things are spread out. It's hard. It's an unimaginably large space. And so, the only thing, what they hope for, even a gravitational wave can't exceed the speed of light. Right? So it's not like you're going to ride a gravitational wave like they do in stuff, right? And how do they do it in Star Trek? They take matter and antimatter. And matter and antimatter would annihilate each other and make pure energy. It's like a 100% energy conversion. There's you couldn't get a better conversion, right? The energy. The problem is trying to hold antimatter in fucking matter. What jar holds antimatter? So the way they get around it is, of course, they set up a magnetic field. Magnetic field is where they hold the antimatter. They have to hold it in a field. Then the antimatter mixes with the matter and all stuff like that. Even there, oh no, time exists. Time exists, and in fact, it's inextricably linked to space. You can't say time without saying space, and you really can't say space without saying time. They're literally. We used to think they were sort of like swings on a swing set. Sort of linked to each other, but, sort of worked independently. One person can swing on a swing and the other thing can do nothing. And it's independent, right? Independent of each other. We now know it's more like the seesaw. And what you do on one side, it directly affects the thing on the other side. It's not space, it's not time, it's space-time. And that shit's real. They and so the quickest way to think about it is like this in terms of like time. All time is local. Einstein's sitting in the square. He's looking around, and he thinks to himself, like, instead of riding a horse away from the square, what if I rode a light beam? And if I look back, what would it look like? And he realizes it would be frozen, right? Because the next instant, the next little bit of time, that next little bit of light can't reach you because you're moving away at the speed of light, right? So you can't see the next tick on the clock. You can't see the next step of the foot of the people in the square. It's not going to happen because as that bit of time tries to catch up to you, you're moving away at the speed of time, right? At the speed of light. So that light can't reach you. You're perfectly away. So if you look at it, it would look frozen because the next event can't reach you. That we can understand. Where it gets tough is that's the way it is in all directions. And that's where our little pea brains in four-dimensional space can't quite understand it in our three-dimensional world. What's great is that, Einstein comes up with these, and people have been trying for years to not, because how do you become the next Einstein? Well, you prove Einstein was wrong somehow, or you take it to another level, to a greater resolution. Like Newton was right, but he wasn't right to the resolution, right? To the precision that Einstein was, right? It's just a greater degree of precision. So, if you come up with a greater degree of precision, but every time they try to experiment, they just prove them right over and over and over again. But if you think about what's great, so one of the greatest things that Einstein comes up with, and again, it's just brilliance, just pure genius, is he realizes, and it's because they had a new technology, elevators. You think about it, so he thinks about like falling in a gravitational field and like what does it feel like, and he realizes that a gravitational field and uniform is equal. There's an equivalence to uniform acceleration. And it's kind of like one of those things where like you're trying to go up the down escalator, right? So is it you falling to earth, or is it the earth coming up to you? Right? And he figures out this uniform acceleration is equal to, right, gravitational mass, right? Mass in a gravitational field. So, if you think about it, if you put if for the sake of argument, let's make the ship really, really big. It's so big that there's a chamber inside of it that's 1 light second apart. Right, so big. It takes 1 second for light to reach from one end of the chamber to the other end of the chamber. Okay, and the ship is going through space, but it's accelerating. In other words, every second that goes by, it's going a little bit faster. Right? That's different than leveling off. And you're going really fast, but you're staying the same speed. There's a huge difference between accelerating and staying the same speed, or even decelerating, right? You're accelerating. Every second that goes by, you're going just a wee bit faster. And a guy sends a little light pulse from one side of the chamber to the other. Now, as that thing is traversing the light chamber, remember, it takes a second to get down there. By the time it gets to the guy at the other end, the ship is going a little bit faster. So instead of measuring 1 second, he measures a little bit less, right? Time is going just a little bit slower by his measurements, right? Because the ship is accelerating. So by the time it gets to him, it's going a little bit faster. He measures a little bit smaller. That's really not that hard to understand. Where it gets interesting is that if there was a ship on a planet and you did the same experiment, the person sitting close to the planet would experience the same thing. Their time would be a little slower. And that's where it's people, right? Because it's the same thing. Because gravitational is the same thing as uniform acceleration. Get it? So even stationary on a platform with no acceleration, you are still constantly uniformly accelerating. Therefore, time at the planet must run at a different speed than even at the top of a mountain. Right? The further you get away from the gravitational mass, your time would be a little different, be a little faster. There's going to be a test later, exactly. So you say, like, yeah, but it's not that much. It's not really that much time. It's not. But when, like, you have to use, like, an atomic clock to measure it, like, even out into, like, orbit. It's like, it's not a huge difference. But then it becomes how precise do you want to be on the surface? Remember, time and space, the same thing. So when they run GPS satellites, they have to compensate for the flow of time in space versus the flow of time on Earth to get the precision that we get for GPSs. If we didn't compensate for that time difference, the time dilation difference, then, you'd be off by like a couple of miles. You couldn't get that level of precision on such a large surface. You can't get 20 yards. You might be able to get 2 miles. Scientist is usually wrong. No, not really. Well, it depends on peer review. But usually, no, they're usually proven right over and over and over again. There's plenty of dudes out there that think they have like wicked large brains and they're like, I'm like wicked smart. I can like figure this out. You're no different with me with your big fancy degree. It's like, no, some dudes really are. And they're way ahead of you, bro. Exactly. 4/3 of people don't understand fractions. Heavy Man did not know about the GPS. Yeah, no, it wouldn't work. You could not get it to work. It would be too imprecise. You need to get that level of precision. You really do need to compensate for the time flow. Oh, thank you, Tony. Gee, I finally have a couple long desired guitars in transit from Aussie Jackson Pro Series RR3 Rhodes. Oh, dude, that's sick. And a B&G stepsister should be here next week. It's Sunday now. Yeah, wow, that's awesome. That's always the hardest part, right? Counting the days. Oh, you ordered it, you paid for it, right? The rush of the purchase is over. Now you're like, and now we wait. Is that the truck? Is that the truck? It's not the truck. All right, everyone calm down. It's not the truck. It's not the truck. It's going to be here. Was that the truck? It's not the truck. Okay. That's 99% of the reason why I put the friggin' cameras up, so I can see when the UPS truck is out front. Well, theoretical physics is out there, but there's a lot of physics that's not theoretical. You can test gravity at any time. In fact, if you really think about it, if time is flowing slower, closer to the surface, and it's going faster out in space, that is sort of the difference. That difference in flow is what torques items towards. That is the gravitational pull, right? You're literally falling down a depression in space-time from the mass. And if we couldn't measure that with precision, we wouldn't be able to throw stuff up in orbit. Exactly, it's not the falling that kills you. Matter of fact, if you were falling in a gravitational field, you wouldn't be able to detect it. There's really no difference between that and not falling in a gravitational field. It's the stop that... Right, if you were floating out in space, it would be the same as if you were inside an elevator, like falling in through the sky. Right, you'd just be floating around in the elevator. There'd be no up or down. You'd be just two objects, right, moving in a gravitational field. But it wouldn't be the same as if you were just floating out in space. It's the stop that's the problem. And that's the pesky strength of the electromagnetic field of most compounds. Telephone booth in space? Yeah, it could be. Is that Doctor Who? And the other thing about, a lot of the quote-unquote UFO sightings is that, there's a lot of secret military stuff. Period. What we feel is extraterrestrial is pretty much terrestrial. And, that's the most plausible explanation. And sometimes, you feel like, they throw something up just to see if they can, mess with them. There's all kinds of theories about, like, jamming their radar, making it look like there's something on there. You don't tell the people that you're experimenting on that they're a part of an experiment, right? Let's see if we can throw a ghost item up on their radar. Oh my God, are you saying this? Yeah, we are. There was a case of that where I think it was a radio station that had detected some signal from like a nearby, it was some nearby like naval base or Air Force base or something, Army base, and they're like, hey, we noticed this big like static or something like that, and they're like, oh yeah. They were like jamming somebody's satellite. Oops. Yeah, you know what? It's probably aliens. Yeah, tell all your friends. Definitely aliens. we just got a crazy number. We haven't had a crazy hot. Anyone from the Boston area would say it hasn't been super hot, but it's been humid. And we're not crazy. It has been. They just said it was like a record for the number of like days where the dew point was over a certain number. I think they broke a record for like July or of like days over. Was it over 70 or over 65? It might have been 65. It's been muggy. It hasn't been super hot. I mean, we've had a couple of 90-degree days in a row, but that's not that bad. I think last year we had like 10 or 15 days where we were in the 90s and even the hundreds, which is, we don't get that. That's more down south. You know, we're way, way north for that kind of temperature. So this year it was cooler summer so far. I mean, July is pretty much over this weekend. But muggy, friggin' moist. I hate it. Can't stand them. I don't like the moisture. You know. No, 90's hot, but I could have sworn last year we had like a couple of days where it was like 100. We had like 98. 99, 100, 101, you know, and it went on for like an extended period. Normally we only see that for like 3 or 4 days, then it sort of cools off, then we could get another run. I feel like last year we had a run of like 10 days, which is just not normal for around here, you know. This year hasn't been hot, but it has been humid. Very tropical. Actually, don't really know any white lion. Dew point's horrible, and North Carolina coast ready for fall. Yeah, same here. We haven't had. They say we're going to finally see some tomorrow, or maybe really not tomorrow. It'll probably take a couple of days to really push in and really push out the other air. So maybe in like by Tuesday, it'll be like really dry. But they say we're in it for a little dry spell. It's not going to be humid, and by that they don't mean dew point in the 40s. They mean like in the 50s. But that's still right now. It's almost 72, 73. The dew point. It's tropical. Oh God, it's getting. Did I just hear something? We got something. Oh, we got a little rain going on out there. Oh no, it's raining. How bad is it? Not too bad. Yeah, oh, here it comes. It's knocking on my back door. They wrote a song about it. Yeah, dew point is 70. I like the dew point like under 50. You only get 4 good months in New England to rush it. No way. The best months are the winter months. The worst period for me is like, you know, June 15th to about at least August 15th, but really more like September 15th, or quite even frankly, no, October 15th. I don't mind the heat, it's the humidity. Though I'm sure if it was super hot like they're having in the Southwest, I would be grumpy about that too. Where's the cool, dry air in all of... Is it Denver? I feel like Denver doesn't get too crazy hot, but they can get cold there and they can get snowy. Where's the best place to go? Lake Tahoe? Get mauled by a bear? Man, my nose is itchy. San Diego, right? 72. It's 72 and sunny like 300 days a year. There you go. Do-do. Will the trailer be ready for the fall? You know what? If we had a couple of decent days, the trailer would be friggin' done. I just don't. I can't stand working out there when it's, when it's so humid. I can't take it. So I'm, maybe this week. I feel like maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. But you know what? My daughter's been taking the car to work every day. She's been taking my car. And she works literally 7 days a week. So this is her last weekend working. Today and tomorrow. She works at a museum. And then she's a camp counselor Monday through Friday. She works at the museum on the weekends. Exactly. This guitar contorts space and time. It arrives before it leaves. It's bigger on the inside. Grass is 8 inches tall. Cut tomorrow because the temperature dropped tonight. I swear to God, I haven't been mowing my lawn either. I got to do mine. I did way too short of a cut a couple of weeks ago, and I've been trying to grow it back a little bit. But it's been rainy. I felt like it was getting almost too wet. I wanted to dry it out a little bit, but I'm going to do a little core aerating in a couple of weeks and do some overseeding. That's in parallel mode. Dew point Nashville right now is 74. Yeah, that's gross. We're close. We're 70. But no, that's disgusting. Really? No flies or mosquitoes where you are? You must be dry. Are you in a really hot area, Melanowsk? Really dry and hot? I don't know if I mentioned this, but I mentioned I had the maggots in the trash. My wife's like, "Oh, it's gross." It's in the barrel. It's been so muggy and hot. It's all full of maggots. I was like, "Oh, that's gross." So I happened to look out on the cam, and I see these birds freaking out on the top of the barrel. I'm like, oh my God, they smell the maggots. They want the maggots. So I went out there and just opened the lid, and oh my God, they went to town until the sun went down. And then in the not pre-dawn, it took maybe about 30 or maybe 45 minutes after sunrise. The next morning, long before I got up, long before anyone in the house was up, the sunrise around here is 5:15 a.m. Well, maybe by 5:45, 6 a.m., big flock came back again. They went to town. They're like, oh my God, it's like maggot Christmas. It was the best. Man, yeah, no, tell your friends and family. Oh, I just heard it. It's like, what the hell is that sound? Oh, that's thunder. So, yeah, no, it was a buffet. It was a buffet de magots. And yeah. So I finally went out there after they picked the trash up, and the only ones that were left were the kind of like the dried out maggots that kind of dried out in the sun, right? All the juicy maggots were gone. Oh yeah, oh geez, oh it's peaking. I'm hearing something. And I just rinsed the whole thing out. It was like, oh, I can hear it. Oh my God. Wow. That's, wow. Yeah, I know. I can hear the rain. It's like oh here comes more thunder. It's like a whiteout on my friggin' screen over there, and it's just blazing with lightning. Oh no, we're in it. Oh my God, yeah. Kaboom. Yeah, we're in, yeah. And actually, we're not even, it's still slightly off to our north and west. We're not quite in it. I can hear it, though. Yeah. I'm seeing a car try to come down the street. Oh my God, they're doing like 2 miles an hour. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty bad out there. I can hear it. It's a little nutty, babe. I don't smell ozone yet, but I don't have windows open either. Oh my God. What's so funny is that like my security cams can't really handle the brightness when they're in night mode, the brightness of lightning. So they just like white out because they can't take it, right? They can't take that level of brightness when they're set to night mode. Yeah, trying to learn the blues harmonica. It takes a while. Do I have a chopper over the top of the trailer? Are you damn right I do. Held down with the strongest of Harbor Freight bungee cords. And it's a Harbor Freight tarp. Yarp to the tarp. What about the interdimensional UFO hypothesis? It's probably about as good as Time Cube. Look it up. It sounds a little Time Cube-ish. It is true that we know that space, the only thing that can move faster than the speed of light is space itself, which is why a black hole, light can't escape a black hole. because it's dragging in space faster than light can go out it. Right? So the general consensus is, if you want to go faster than the speed of light, you need to be able to somehow manipulate space to move faster than that. There's already stuff moving faster than the speed of light away from you, but it's all real. Oh shit! You see, guys? Did you see that? That was a little wonky. That's not instilling me with confidence. Yeah, plus around a black hole, the space would be infinitely curved, so it's like trying to spin a roulette ball, like around a roulette wheel. It just keeps coming back to where it started. It's not showing. It's lightning like crazy. It's not showing any signs of light getting any lighter. The rain is still coming down. Jeez, it's really lightning too. See if we get any rumbles coming through. I know. If we lose power, I gotta fire up the sump pump by going out and firing up the friggin' generator first. Always a pain in the ass. Oh man, it is lightning out there like crazy. Doesn't look like it's lightening up at all either. That rain is still pretty heavy. And I'll put a life preserver on over here. The funny thing is that we're not even dead center. Oh yeah. But it's sliding this way. And what's the delay on this? Where is it at? 8:15. Where are we now? 8:18. So it's 3 minutes off. Where are the cats? Well, usually Buddy will come down and he will go over in the Buddy bunker, which is this cubby hole in one of my desks that I put a blanket in there, and he will back himself into the Buddy bunker. Yeah, he likes that. The last time, a couple of days ago, we had thunderstorms like this, and he was under Ben's bed. He will go onto the bed. Most of them tend to run and hide under beds when it's thunder and lightning. But the Buddy bunker is usually where he'll go. If my son is home, and I think he is, I see his car out there, then he's probably with my son, either under the bed or nestled up with him on the bed, like let's ride the storm out together. Yeah, no, the Buddy bunker is. He found his way in there, and I wound up just. It just happened to be some cleaning cloths, but I wound up. It was kind of lumpy. I pulled it out and just like literally folded a blanket up and put it in there. So He can. Oh, and he loves it. The funny thing is no other cat, like the cats will go over, they'll smell it, but they really won't go in. They can kind of know it's his, except for Sweetie. Sweetie will go like, oh, damn, this looks pretty good. I think I'm going to go in here. And then I'll come over. She's like, oh, right, you sit here. No, I want to be near you. I'm out. You got a dog that's terrified of storms. See, luckily the cats don't seem to. They don't make as much of a fuss. I know dogs that get really frightened. I got to put them in the basement, get them away from all that. But even then, they know they can hear it. They can hear it very easily. Yeah, a lot of dogs do not like the thunderstorms at all. I'd say the rain's just as strong. Not quite as white out, but oh man, there was a shot. Your grandmother used to think lightning was the end of the world. Yeah, I remember a few really bad ones. I remember flying back. We were trying to fly out of Nashville, and at one point, a thunderstorm blew through. I mean, you just couldn't even see 10 feet out from the airport. It was raining so hard all the flights were delayed. They wouldn't land or take a plane off. It was so bad, just like white out, but rain. So that passes, and we were a little delayed, but we get on the plane and we get out, and now we're kind of in the queue, but we're trying to get out before this next cell shows up, and of course we don't. We're in the plane. Now we're delayed when this new cell comes through, and we are out there, and this thing is it's rocking the plane with the winds, and it's like, ay. And then finally, that one went through, and we waited a little bit, and we're still in the queue. We're still in the plane, and we took off. We finally got up in the air, and the lightning off to the side, another one was going to come through. They're all coming through this one direction, and we fly off and away from it. And then maybe about an hour into our flight, we hit some, I don't know, Pennsylvania or something like that, right? Coming up the coast, we're going up to, Boston, and off to the side, we're probably 10 miles away from it or 5 miles away from it, but it is right there. We're up in the sky, and the lightning off to the side from the plane, it was like, I don't like all this. I don't like all this sky lightning. It feels like the lightning's right up here with us, but we didn't get hit by lightning, and we were it seemed like we were far enough away, but it was a little worrying. Yeah. Oh, look at a little Boots. What, you wee Boots? How's it going? Coming down here to escape the thunder there, huh? Oh, who is I? It's the humidity. You mess with your guitars over there. You don't notice it at first. I'm sure it does. It's so much more moist than in the winter. But then all of a sudden you're like, what the hell's wrong with this guitar? Huh, geez, I guess the neck seems a little bowed forward, or the neck seems to be a little bowed back. What the hell's going on with this thing? You're like, oh, right. And last time I looked at this thing, it was like it had a dew point of 15, and now it's a dew point of 75. Do. Had lightning strike near me, not close enough danger me, but I'm kind of sleeping and woke up screaming. We had one hit. I swear it was like right next door. It was so loud. It was like instant, and it was so friggin' loud. I'm trying to think if we had another one that was sort of close like that. We had one that was, I think when I was growing up, that hit a tree and knocked the branch down, and then the branch knocked the power line down. That's pretty rare. Yeah, no, you're right, Surfer. You have to be careful with old trees in the yard. Too much water, and they weaken. Especially when you have a southern wind, because all the trees around here are built for northern winds, right? That's the windy time of the year. So now all of a sudden, not only are you get soft, weak soil, but your winds are blowing up out of the south instead of the north, right? And, now you really have a problem with a potential tree going over. Because trees brace themselves in the direction of the most wind. I was on a flight, got hit by lightning. It was like somebody hitting a table with a hammer as hard as they could. Bang! I don't like the sound of that. House in your city was struck last week. A fire was started. Wow. That's scary. Don't need that. You know. Please no flight issue talk. I fly out at 10 p.m. You'll be fine. Actually, statistically speaking, you will be fine. Chances of being injured or killed, might be killed. Every time you go out, it's like in a car. It's like what, like 1 out of 170,000? Something like that. And going out flying in a plane, it's like 1 in 9 billion. You know who had a crazy flight was Keith Merrow. And unfortunately for him, it was an international flight. They lost an engine out over the Atlantic, and they had to spin right around, and there's an Air Force base up in Canada. They went straight to the Air Force base up in Gooseneck. And had to hang out there for like 2 days until they got a replacement plane. My friend's son just flew back from China from Florida, 18 hours. Yeah, my wife took a flight from Boston. I think it was Boston, Australia. 20 hours. 20-hour flight. Yeah, let's talk about something else. Whatever happened to Skinner? Whatever happened to Randy Rhoads? Whatever happened to the Big Papa? How much does the Kramer weigh? It weighs 8.06 pounds. So I'm going to round that down to 8 pounds. Too soon? Yeah, SRV was a helicopter, bro. Not quite the same. You're not taking a chopper, are you? Because then that whole 1 in 9 billion thing goes right out the window. And it's more like 1 out of 10. Still an aircraft. It was not for long. Too soon? Oh, I posted the people on Strat Talk were getting their panties in a bunch about the I can't even think of it, the PRS Silver Sky, the SE. When the SE came out, some dude was like, I love my Silver Sky SE, and they're all rah rah rah, it's not a Strat, rah rah rah, rank 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 rah 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 rah. And I posted a picture. There's a great Photoshop that my friend Nick Scott did that shows SRV. He photoshopped it so he's playing the PRS Silver Sky. And so I posted it up there. I said, hey, if it was good enough for Stevie Ray, you know? And like one dude was like, dude, that's not funny, man. I'm like, too soon? What was it? 32 years ago? Is it the same neck profile as the Beretta Special? I think it is. The Kramer Beretta? I think it is. I think they have the same neck profile. I think the difference is the it's got a tilt back instead of the offset, and it's slightly smaller. I think. I don't think it quite goes out as far. It gets a little smaller and a different logo. I don't think they use quite the same. Some of them have the big logo. Do I have a picture? Do I have like a full screen here I can show? Let me show all the Kramers. Let me just see if I can. Yeah. But where's the one I need? Where is the one I need? Not there. Yeah, here's one. I mean, is it the same? I don't think so. Take a look. I feel like this is. Maybe I think it. Oh God, this stupid free 55-point inspection is like covering the stupid photo. I feel like this is either a little bit longer or they place the decal a little bit farther down so it's not over the. My truss rod adjusts at the base, right? It's got a channel there, and you put a wrench in down there. This adjusts at the headstock right there. So they can't put the logo quite in the same spot. I feel like the logo is a little. Doesn't it feel like the logo is a little different? No? Right? And that's tilt back, not offset. Yeah, and I think a little bit different logo too. That's more like the logo, the early year logo. That's like the logo on my 83, right? 83, 84. But this logo here, the 3D block like that comes out in, I want to say probably 85 and 86. And then by 87, they go to even a different one. By 87, I want to say they go to. We have. Well, what's this headstock look like? Is that a reverse? No. See, that looks like the one I have here. That's an 84. Oh, see, that's another one like mine. See how it adjusts down at the bottom? Like mine. All right, so there's another 84. Let me see if they have another graphics one here. Yeah, see, reverse headstock. And that's the third iteration, right? Different size letters. The 3D look with the sloping letters. That's like 87, I think, to the end. From the 87 to the end. So literally, in the custom graphics model, it looks like they have 3 different eras of logos. The one I have is the 84. That's like 83, 84. The other one, 3D block, that's like 85, 86. And then the sloping is like 87, 88, 89. It's the it's the same. It's part of the. They're all part of the graphics collection, right? It just depends on whether you want the black swirl, the curse of the black swirl, 3D black swirl. That's called the Illusionist. Hello. Can we get somebody on copy? Blue sparkle with flames. I guarantee you that's not what it's called. Rainbow leopard. Green snakeskin, green blue fade. Warning tape on white red. Nice. Who's working down in the copy department? They run it through a translator. White Lotus candy blue. You can see that's more of like the Beretta with the old slanty and the zebra versus the where the pickup is sliding underneath in a quantum vortex. You know, it's probably a sticker. You know, it's probably a sticker, but I don't know, because when I was looking at it, I kept looking for, and maybe it's just the way they make the sticker, but anything that's printed has small dots. That's how they're printed. Things are printed with dots. So if it's printed, if you get up really close with like a magnifying glass, at some point you should start to see some dots, but I wasn't really seeing dots. So I don't know what the maybe it's because it's black and white, or maybe the black part is clear. I don't really know how they do it. That looks like 2 extra paint swirls with like an airbrush, right? The white and the white, but that could be all part of the graphic. With the relief details. But I think so. But you can't feel it. It's like completely. It's not like you can feel like an edge to it or anything like that. It's completely seamless. So whatever the process is, you don't feel it. Give me a screen printed decal. Yeah. There has to be a way that they can print it where you don't really see the dots. Almost anything that gets printed has some sort of a dot. It just does. That's what printing is. For the most part, unless you're using an AB Dick offset. Can you use a cleaner on it? Like, yeah, any guitar polish. I'm sure it's covered in a thick coat of poly over the top. Whatever it is, it's painted. It's under the paint. It's under the. Yeah, you think so? You think it's lithography? Could be. Yeah, the old spirograph. Will aggressive picking mess up a decal? I guess if it's on the top, sure. But if it's under a thick coat of poly, probably not. Right. Remember, they paint the edge to make it look, but it's really not. It's like glass. It's better than the hot dog one. Oh, I like the hot dog one. I think that's sold out instantly. Hot dog one's long gone. You wish you could get the hot dog one. That's sold out like friggin' instantly. Yeah. Speaker showing me a picture of his. It has the falling Kramer logo. That's an 87, right? That's an 87 as well. The same thing, the 3D cascading logo. Yeah, we were talking about that, Nelson. I think they're dropping the detuner. Probably a cost-cutting measure. Looks like the latest round doesn't have a detuner. Like if you look at the Sweetwater stock, no detuners. And from a warranty and servicing, can you imagine the nightmare it is to service a detuner? that, you know, all the people, my detuner is not working correctly. Oh my God. They're like, yeah, take it to your tech, but it's a brand new guitar. Like, okay. I think the rain is slowing down a little bit, but it's still coming down out there. Not quite as bad as it was, though. Yeah, we seem to be past. Yeah, we're still in the rain. It looks like we're going to be in the rain for a couple of hours, but at least an hour. But the heaviest stuff is past us. Nobody knows you have to use the little grub screw. Yeah, it came with the grub screw. Right? It's like the Floyd Rose stop back or something like that. There's a name like the FRT, like 401 or some stupid thing. But yeah. Yeah, if you had the detuner, it did come with that backstop. You kind of need it, because if you have a floating bridge, the detuner like won't work. Did I see Sophie Lloyd featuring Michael Starr? I did not. Hey, it's getting hot down here, though. My air conditioner still working? Do-do. Do-do. Oh, man. Yeah, it's muggy. You can feel the friggin' mugginess. No, you can get, Yeti Master, you can get it to work, but it takes a little bit of setup. And what happens is somebody changes their strings and all of a sudden their detuner doesn't work. They probably changed like their, I don't like nines. I moved it to tens and now my detuner doesn't work. You can just imagine the nightmare of like having to warranty service that crap. Damn, time flew by. I know, I can't believe it's 8:49. Oh, it's still raining out there. It's still coming down. Do-do-do-do. We actually talked about that earlier, Michael. We think this other guy, I think, we don't know if EVH had the concept, but this other guy sort of invented it, and EVH just kind of liked it, and who knows? But at some point, it was himself and some other guy, we think. There's like a guy. Doo-doo. What am I hearing? Who's that? Oh, that's somebody walking downstairs already. EVH has the credit for inventing it, yeah. Inventing the actual product or the concept? Exactly. It's all the space and time talk. The show starts in 5 minutes. We're on a loop. Actually, that's how you know we're not on a closed system, right? If we were, if you looked far enough in one direction, you'd see the back of your head. What do I think of the EVH Star? You know, we talked about that. I think either last week or the week before. You know, I'm not crazy about the Star. Never have been. You know, I don't really remember him really playing that. Is that again? I think that's a women and children first era. You know, is he playing that on? I think he's full on Frankie by the time he gets to. You know, Mean Streets. You know, I got to think it's, you know, Fair Warning and Diver Down. He's full on, I think, Frankie. I think if it was a Star, I got to think it's Women and Children First era. Just like, what, 1980? Yeah, exactly, Overlord. I feel like it needs a different headstock. The headstock that's on it just sort of like, you know, it looks like he stuck a Dan Electro headstock. I wouldn't doubt it. I'm sure he threw a Dan Electro neck on some like, you know, Ibanez Destroyer body, and then like cut out a part of it, and then, you know, added some paint. It's like he really was sort of a mad scientist tinkerer. What about the new Frankensteins that come in the solid color? Yeah, I saw that. They're sort of, I don't feel, I was talking about it with Bobby, I feel like they don't, those feel more machined for the relicking, where the Frankies felt more hand done. It's like it was the same but different. But if you look at the new Frankies that have that same thing, it almost feels like, what am I thinking of? The Road Worn series, where all of them had like the identical wear, because it's done by a machine, right? There's like a little template that goes over and just like takes the paint off an area, and it goes very, very quickly. So it felt like, unlike the Frankie with the dark neck and that came out a couple of years ago, those, they couldn't even keep them in stock when they first came out, right? Because EVH had just passed away. You know, those guitars, it feels way more hand done. I think the new ones look way more machine done, but I don't know. You used Dano necks on several guitars? Yeah. Well, my AC's running because there goes my condenser, emptying out the, you know, the pan just emptied. Like the new SBS. Yeah, SBS is making a push. I'm seeing them recently. You know, making it out there. I got something new this week to show you. You know, this one kind of came out of nowhere, and I was pretty happy about it. Not really out of nowhere. The thing is we talked about it in December of 2020. And then, we talked about it off and on, but it had been months since we had talked about it. And so after a while, you just completely forget about it. So in many ways, it felt like it just showed up out of the blue when it kind of didn't. But I really do like that look of it. Yeah, the evaporator. Well, it's the condensate, right? In other words, the condensate collector is emptying out, the little giant. Because as you know, the evaporator would not collect the condensate. It's designed to drip off of it down into the collection pan. And then from there down to the condensate ejector. Thoughts on the Floyd Rose 1000? Well, it's pretty much the same as a German Floyd Rose, but they metallurgically. If you went to go buy one of these, it'd be about $7 to $10 cheaper than the German one. But you couldn't get this exact one at retail. Only the German one is available at retail. You'd have to get the Pro, which is a slightly different design. These are OEM only. And I think the reason why they do it is because, only the Korean factory can produce the quantity that they need. I don't think Schaller can bang out the sheer number. So Schaller has the retail. Korea does the retail for the Pro and the OEM. And then you have the special, but the special is complete. You're going from a tremolo like this, or like the original, or like the 84, or like the Pro, that's going to be between, say, $215 and $270. And if you get the special, it'll be like $85. A huge chasm between the special and the 1000 or the 84 or that, Have a good one, speaker. Talk to you soon. We'll have to get together once it's not so friggin' humid out. Now right now I'm officially sitting in the basement waiting for the air to dry out. That's where I'm there. Thanks for the show. 1 billion to 1. Actually, it's 9 billion to 1. It's much better than 1 billion to 1. For every 9 billion people that fly, one person dies. That's a pretty good track record. 9 billion to 1. So statistically speaking, you're probably pretty good. All right, dudes, it's 9 o'clock. We'll call it a night. Do it all again next week. I should have a video, at least one video coming out this week. Got some new gear to show you. And there you have it. We will do it all again 1 week from tonight. And, thanks to everybody for hanging out. Super extra special thanks to anyone contributed, especially Tony, who's a very, very generous contribution. Seems to be a weekly thing, and I really appreciate that. And then, of course, Brofist to my Mod Squad. Hashtag Brofist. Hashtag Mod Squad. And we'll do it all again a week from tonight. And there you go. No, you rock. Yeah, exactly, Mail House. You have a better chance of being hurt by a comet. You know? Actually, way better chance. I think it's a way better chance of winning the lottery, right? Lottery's like 1 in 300 million versus 1 in 9 billion. Well, there you go. Exactly. Now you just got to get to the airport in one piece. There you go. All right, dudes. I probably won't be up later because I am exhausted. I've had a busy day. And I was up kind of early this morning. And I think I'm out of coffee. You put that all together, and it spells a disaster for being up later. All right, dudes. I'll see you guys in a week. Check out my new video this week. I should have at least one new video. And there you go. Have a wonderful week. I'll see y'all next week. And there you have it. We did it. We've said it all. And now we're going to end. All right, dudes. I got one cat waiting for me. I'm off to maybe one more Mystery Science Theater 3000 before bed. All right, dudes. Have a great night. I'll see you guys next week. Until then, rock on.